Hello, collective. How is everybody doing? We are here with a timeless reading. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. All right. Okay. We're starting off with the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Wands. This feels like taking matters into your own hands and changing your luck. If there is a change that you want, this means also that you're initiating this. It can also mean that like this change is sort of waiting to happen. So if you permit this, if you allow this, it's gonna happen sort of like full throttle. This means too that if you want to take action on something, it is a very good time to be doing it. It's an auspicious time to be doing it. That's also what the Wheel of Fortune says. So if you're like, should I take this chance or this risk, or like, is it time for me to take action with this? Like, am I ready for it? I'm seeing it be the time, okay? So just in case you were wondering, some of you, this is about going for an opportunity, or there's a door that you're going to be opening. This is something that it's paired with what you've been doing, and it feels like something. Hold on, I'm hearing a couple different things. There's stuff associated with maybe like you seeing the conclusion of what you've been working on, or what this is beginning to add up to, but you could have felt like, I don't know, if you were doing something, if there's been something that you've been working on, I'm seeing that you're going to get what's due to you. You're going to get like the reciprocity essentially back from what you've been putting in. It's going to come through in a way that feels balanced to you, in a way that feels maybe fair for the situation. So this also is a reminder as well to do things in a way that resonate with you and feel right to you and are aligned with your integrity, because you are going to get that kicked back to you, like in a positive way, in a desirable way. But I guess also, yeah, it's just a reminder to make sure that you're doing things in the right way that's in alignment, because the deal with justice is that if you're doing things in a way that's out of alignment with your integrity, like that's what you're going to get in return. But if you're doing things in the right way, where you're like, maybe this isn't so ideal, or like I have to wait longer or whatever, so on and so forth, it means that like you'll get what's due to you essentially at the end of this particular cycle here. So you want to make sure that how you're taking action is like fair and balanced, because I'm seeing like that will come back to you if that's what you're doing. So yeah, that's always the reminder with justice. It's like if you're doing things in a way that you feel like is right, you're going to get that back. So just make sure that you keep doing things that are aligned, and that stay your motivation. That means being like honest and true and transparent and fair and balanced, and doing so with integrity, in alignment with your morals and your values, whatever those may be. Yeah. I'm hearing your luck isn't running out. Maybe there was something going on that had you questioning this. The thing that happens when we're in cycles too, is that generally it like ebbs and it flows. So maybe you were hitting a bit of a dip and wondering what was going on. For some of you, this has to do with a relationship of yours, but like it doesn't. For some of you, it's an interpersonal relationship. For others of you, it's a relationship that you have with something, like to something, with something. But yeah, if you want things to go in your favor, it's about continuing to do things in the way that you have been and keeping it aligned and making sure that you're checking yourself to ensure that that's what's happening here if you want that type of benefit. Yeah, it's like ensuring that you're doing things in a way that's aligned and that it's fair and whatnot. Because for some reason, like I'm seeing judgment next to Libra over here. And this can mean that like a situation could be straying from that. So you want to make sure that you get it back on track in case that it isn't. But also if you are on track with things and you're like, no, I'm doing things in a balanced way, I feel like I'm being like moral and fair with how I'm doing things, it can mean that there could be somebody around you that may be swaying from that, or there could be something coming up that could like lead you off that path. So it's like being aware to stay doing that, because I'm seeing like that's how you've been doing things, so you want to keep doing things in that way. Yeah, many of you, I'm seeing another person be connected with this. It's like a relationship that you've been working on. Honesty is really important with the Judgment card, and also Justice. I also see Justice generally as having to do with our values that are associated with social things, like with other people. So it's about acting in a way that you feel good about. It's like if people could see the way that you're handling this relationship, and like say you're like the main character in a movie, right? And everybody's watching this movie and they're watching all of the moves that you're making and they're seeing all the things that are motivating you and how you're treating this person. How would you feel about like being seen? Would you feel good about it? Like, yeah, I'm really representing myself well. Or would you be like, I don't want anybody to see that movie? So that's really what you want to be making sure of here within this. And that'll tell you where you stand as far as like whether you're doing things in alignment or not. I'm seeing that this relationship has potential for you to feel really empowered within. I'm getting something about a conversation going on between you and this person, but there's something that needs to be looked at. Okay, so this is like the event basically that I'm seeing. So you and this person are connecting, and why I'm seeing Justice, I'm also hearing the High Priestess and the Judgment card here. Why I'm seeing these two cards here is because you need to make sure that the conversation that you're having with this person, that it feels right to you and that it actually aligns with you. Because there can be like a sharing of feelings or like a sentiment or just like heartfelt communication that's going on between you and this person, or just like having this contact with them. And you need to make sure that you're not like crossing a line if there is one to be crossed, essentially. Like you want to make sure that you're keeping everything aligned, so you're not having to deal with the repercussions of something not being aligned. That's like the only reason. It's like if you keep things aligned, you're more likely to experience something that you'd rather prefer, and you're not going to have baggage holding you back. Because you know, when you do something that's out of alignment, like there's the guilt and all of that, and it just kind of like soils the situation. So if you can avoid doing that, it's just going to be a more preferable situation for you. Yeah, okay, so this person that's reaching out to you, I'm seeing them, or you're having a conversation with, there's definitely communication back and forth is what I'm seeing. Well, there's definitely at least one person reaching out to the other person is what I'm seeing. I don't know so much of a back and forth. I guess it's going to depend on the context of what the person is saying, but I'm definitely seeing them be interested in you. There's something very interesting and special going on between, I don't know, there's like a power dynamic that I'm seeing here with you and this person. But I'm seeing it kind of rest on you. It's like, you know what your values are, and so you have to make sure that you're acting aligned with that regardless of what anybody else is doing. I'm seeing somebody come through that there's a connection between you and this person for sure. I'm seeing like the way that what this connection brings out in you allows you to feel empowered, and that may speak for itself, but you still needing to, I don't know, look into the conversation, the context, the dialogue between you and this person. There's something very important about that for some reason. And I don't know why that's standing out particularly, but I'm seeing something specifically about making sure that things are staying aligned within the conversation with this person is important. Making sure that you're being honest and transparent. And just, I keep getting aligned over and over again. I feel like this situation is more complicated than like what's being shown here, but it also makes sense that this would be more simplified in order for it to be more easily digestible and applicable procedure-wise. This does look like an ongoing relationship. I'm seeing you be in a place where you've really been working on empowering yourself, and you feel most empowered when you're aligned, and that's why this is so important, because you know that if you're doing something that you feel guilty about, I don't know why this keeps coming up, because I'm not seeing the Seven of Swords here. It feels more like a precautionary energy, or just like make sure to get back on track if you're not on track with this person. You want to do things in a way that it's aligned, so you don't have to find yourself in a situation where you have to undo what was not aligned, what you were like. It's like you're laying these tracks down, and when you get off track, like when you're misaligned, you start putting it in the wrong direction, and then you have to go back and pick them back up no matter how far you go, or like what happens after when you like course correct it. It's like you have to rip up all of that and go all the way back to like the genesis of where things got off track, and you have to correct it in order for the rest of the track to be corrected. So I'm seeing this be your guide saying, stay on track so you don't have to go back and do anything, meaning like course correct this. Because even though I'm seeing like an ongoing relationship, there's something about things being different now. This is like new territory, basically. And so it's like reminding you that you feel most empowered when you're making moves that are aligned when it comes to you and this person. And that's how you keep that sense of empowerment. Otherwise, you're not going to be feeling that way. But I'm seeing like so much energy that you've been pouring into doing things in a way that feels empowering to you. So it's about, this feels kind of like your guide saying this is how you maintain it. And just a reminder of the importance of that. even though justice isn't always easy because it means us being transparent and honest and allowing other people the respect of like being honest with them, you know, and allowing them to make their own informed choices and all of that. Let's see what else. I am hearing Leo very strongly. I'm looking at Jupiter, Gemini, Venus, Libra, and Pluto. Whatever this is that needed to be like ascertained through your reflection here of the conversation between you and this person, I'm seeing that you have basically like unveiled what you needed to see. Why is there... Something about the balance doesn't feel the easiest to maintain right now. You may be feeling overwhelmed emotionally. If you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, it may be time to sort of go into hermit mode and just reflect on things and make sure that, I don't know, to just check in with yourself and ask yourself like where your heart is most present and move in that direction, what you feel most connected to. I'm hearing home. Yeah, for those of you that you're feeling like this is a lot emotionally, going into hermit mode is going to be helpful for you, but it's like this. There may be fear of you being like judged or criticized, but it's actually just a projection of you like judging and criticizing yourself. So I'm seeing that's like currently what you're going through, and that's why you may be feeling overwhelmed emotionally. Because maybe you're feeling one way and doing things another way, or you're feeling pressure to do things another way because you're like, what are other people going to think and all of that. Because there's something here about like you sort of know what you want to do and the moves that you want to make, but this fear of, it can be like, am I good enough to be doing that? Or like, Five of Swords can be such a complicated thing, but it's coming back to how you're perceiving yourself, like in relation to other people and what they think of what you're doing. Because I'm getting like this, potentially like this fear of judgment or criticism that you may currently be facing. Interesting too, for some of you, this also has to do with like feminine figures within your life as well. And it can be like questioning your own femininity too. This can also come back to, at times, you feeling things. What's the best way to put this? Sometimes you may not give as much weight to what you're feeling and how you're feeling and understand like how deeply that affects you, and it may be something that you sort of like swallow sometimes. This theme has definitely been coming up. I feel like collectively there's this shift that's going on where it's about like honoring our feminine energy, which all of us have masculine and feminine. Nobody has just one of them. Everybody has both of them. And it's about our receptivity and honoring our feelings and knowing that like our feelings and what's going on energetically is just as important, if not more important, than what's going on physically within our realities. but you could have been like doing something physically where it's like, if I physically have this, then I can like sort of neglect this other part of myself. So that could be something that's coming up here where you're like beginning to give as much weight to what's going on emotionally, especially within your interpersonal relationships. Because I'm seeing this very interesting dynamic that's unfolding where you're beginning to see the effects of things in through like a different lens than you had been seeing before, and something just feels heavy as far as how you're meant to be taking action with another person, and they may feel the weight of that crushing on them as well. Because I'm seeing some like interesting interplay between you and this individual that you've been connecting with, where some of you are in a position where it's like you know what you need to do, but you just feel a little bit stressed right now, like there's a lot of pressure on you to take action in a particular way, and you kind of feel like you're the only person that can do this within the relationship, and maybe that the other person isn't. And for some of you, you may be experiencing the person you're dealing with going through this while you're trying to be receptive and nurturing towards them and trying to create like an empowering dynamic between you and this person and you and yourself within this relationship. And then I'm seeing you sort of need to go within to evaluate like what the right thing is to do here. And I'm seeing that somebody's reaching out to another person. So if you're the one that's like reflecting about what the right thing is to do or how you feel like you should proceed, you're going to be reaching out to them. But if they're the one that's doing that, where you've sort of like laid something on this person's plate and you're like, tell me what you think, let me know how you want to go forward with this, then they're going to be reaching out to you. And I'm seeing actually the conversation go pretty well. And it seems like, yeah, I'm seeing like the assessment of it be good about how things are going, but I'm also seeing your guides. This can be aimed towards you or it can be aimed towards the person that you're dealing with. I'm just seeing your guides be like, make sure that you're not acting from your ego, especially if things go in the way that you want. Like, don't be pompous about it, essentially. But again, like some of you could be dealing with somebody that's in that energy, but it actually comes from a place of insecurity. This reading, it seems like it's also about releasing things that, going through this process where you're recognizing what needs to be held on to because like what's relevant for you right now versus what is like obsolete at this point that you don't need for where you are right now, that you can release and like surrender. Yeah. Okay, let's go through everybody again. I'm looking at Jupiter, Libra, Pluto. I am hearing Aquarius, Cancer, Virgo. I'm hearing Mars. I'm hearing Leo again. Gemini and Venus. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.